500 in the league. Rider is 12-9. They are 9-3, having won 6 straight games. Brian O'Connell, Tim Smith, and Andy O'Brien are our officials. Rider dressed in the traveling cranberry, and Manhattan in the home white. We are underway as the Bronx win the tip in the Bronx. Glad you're with us here on ESPN3. Second of the MAC weekend for both of these teams. Rider coming off of a blowout home victory over St. Peter's on Friday night.
Jasper's in a matchup zone. When the clock goes down, it usually turns into a man-to-man.
Mervyn James off on the baseline shot. Here come the Jaspers, whose starting lineup is exactly the same as it was on Friday. Roberts is the big man inside, flanked by Logan Padgett and Marquise Watson, Nick Brennan, and Ant Nelson at the guard spots. Here comes Nelson down the lane, takes some contact, cannot finish. Roberts the offensive board. Watson slashes and dishes, and Nelson tried to get it off to a teammate. It was knocked out of bounds by Rider. Rider starting 5. We mentioned Dwight Murray Jr. He runs the show. A lot of size inside with Mervyn James and Tariq Ingram. And Betrand and Powell, 2 Philly guys on the wings as well.
A lot of Philly love on this Rider basketball team. First couple of possessions early on, I like the Jaspers getting into the lane area, putting pressure on the Rider defense.
This is a Manhattan team that does shoot the 3 ball quite well. They can spread the floor. Rider likes to get the ball inside. It's kind of a fascinating matchup of styles there, but you mentioned Ant Nelson beforehand. Nelson does his best work in the lane. Powell spots up from 3, just a little too strong. Betrand hustling, and he saves the possession. Powell once again, and once again too strong. Offensive rebound inside. Mervyn James can't finish. There's a lid on the basket here, and it's going to be Jasper basketball.
And that's the one thing Rider does so well. They pound the glass. They do an excellent job on both ends, but however, on the offensive end, you get second and third opportunities. Powell, a great shooter, hasn't been shooting the ball that well this season, had 2 really good looks.
We talked about their great size for Rider. They can also bring size off the bench, which is not something everybody can do here in the MAC.
Arguably the most talented team in the league, in my opinion.
Nelson against Murray. Fantastic matchup at the point. Murray shuts off the baseline. Logan Padgett fires away, and that would not go. Murray with the rebound.
Murray only at 6 feet, rebounds the ball very well for a small guard.
Almost 5 boards a game for Murray. Preseason unanimous pick to the first team all-conference by the coaches.
He would definitely get my vote if I had one.
Once again, the Jaspers in this matchup zone. So much a part of their identity over the last few years. They feed the post to James. Extra feed inside to Ingram. Has all the tricks in the bag in the post, and he lays it in.
Love that post-to-post action. Mervyn James, he is so tough. He has that quote-unquote dog in him. Excellent post feed.
Ingram's another Philadelphia native coming in as a transfer from Wake Forest. Struggled with injuries in his time in North Carolina. Nelson off to Roberts, pathway to the rim, cannot finish that, and Ingram fighting for the rebound. He's able to snag it.
Ingram using his size to deter that shot.
Betrand curls inside, the shot over the shot blocker. Roberts is halfway down and out. Up and down we go here at Draddy Gymnasium. Crowd still filing in, going to be a pretty good one once again. Off the mark on the jump shot from just inside the arc is Marquise Watson.
That's a good-looking shot for Keese. I like it off the bounce. That's something he was working on in the pregame.
Shooting the basketball a lot better this season is Watson. Powell on the near side. Gets it to Murray, guarded by his opposite 55. Murray, the drive and dish. Ingram leans in and took one too many steps.
And that's the presence of Josh Roberts. Obviously, he can't block every shot, leading the league in shot blocking, but his presence right there, again, allows you to hesitate. Traveling violation. Murray gets deep into that lane. Love the drop off, but look at Josh right there. 6'9", long is all outside.
Roberts averages just shy of 2 blocks per game, a high flyer. Once again, this time on the opposite side of the floor, it's Nelson versus Murray. And this time, Nelson got around him but could not finish. Jasper's having some trouble putting the ball in.
Like that matchup. Again, Ant Nelson 6'4", Dwight Murray Jr. 6 feet.
Bit of a ragged start to this game in terms of shot making. Both teams pretty stout on the defensive end. Powell turns the corner. Pretty floater. Cannot get the shooter's roll.
And Powell's had 3 good looks at the basket.
In transition, Padgett spots up. Again, no good.
Classic Sunday afternoon basketball in the MAC. This is how we started off.
Manhattan's 0 of 6, Riders 1 of 6. Mervyn James, quick decision against Brennan. That shot may have been altered, and Padgett has the ball tipped out to him. Again, the Jaspers look to push. This time the Bronx get back.
Really good job by Rider getting back in transition, locating, and getting their matchups together.
Handoff, Watson. Again, takes some contact. That shot was blocked by Betran. Murray on another floater. This one is strong. There's James, though, for the putback.
Tough shot, but I like the transition opportunity. When you go in transition, even when you put it up on the glass, because Rider is so good, that's a good shot.
Head coach Kevin Baggett said Mervyn James has that dog in him, as they say.
No question. Every team needs at least one dog where the opposing team doesn't like him, the fans don't like him, but we love him on our side. I believe Merv is that guy.
The fadeaway by Brennan off the offensive rebound gets the Jaspers on the board.
Nick Brennan on the glass, another big guard, able to use his side, get the rebound, mid-range shot goes down.
Jaspers show the pressure in the backcourt. Murray. Skip out to Powell. Now James on the spin. That shot rejected inside.
Josh Roberts.
Roberts then runs the floor, catches, and puts it in to tie the game.
Classic big basketball. Gets the block shot on the defensive end. Runs the floor, rim to rim action. Good finish. He's so efficient.
Second meeting of the season is this one between these two programs. Josh Roberts led the Jaspers with 18 points in a narrow loss down in Lawrenceville a couple weeks ago.
Tough place to play down in Lawrenceville.
James against the smaller Nelson got the drop step and the shooter's roll. Great job by James.
And those are the tough baskets you need a guy like Mervyn James to be able to get. In our league, guys like him are so just precious because of their size and their ability. 6'6", 6'7", able to do a little bit of everything.
Nelson able to handle the pass, then Roberts gets free once again, and that is his game.
Jasper's doing a really good job finding inside baskets. Coach Baggs not happy at all.
Yeah, he's going to call a timeout to talk about it. We are tied at 6 apiece. 13:28 to play in the first half here at Canoe. Yeah, Ryder's the best free throw shooting team in the MAC. And as far as their rebounding goes, they are the MAC's best team in terms of rebounding margin. Able to bring some size off the bench, as they do here, Nehemiah Benson and Ajiri Ogimuno Johnson, who seems like he's been at Rider forever. They're both in for Coach Baggett out of that timeout.
Again, you mentioned him. He goes to the glass hard.
Here's Nehemiah Benson going one-on-one with Adam Walden. He's able to score over the 6'10" Jasper freshman.
And I love the way Rider gets paint touches almost every time down against the Jaspers defense.
Samir Stewart's also in off of Manhattan's bench. He's their second leading scorer overall. He's really playing well. Razi Hyan across the lane, dishes off. James Jewell cannot get it to fall through, and Ogimuno Johnson boards.
Both teams getting really good looks at the rim. Again, James able to get above the rim. I think in a year or two he dunks that, maybe next year.
Jewell just got eligible halfway through the season for Manhattan. First year in the program. Active hands by Hyan on the other end.
Great activity on the defensive end.
Jump pass by Stewart to Brennan. Now Stewart's going to launch. Again, it swirls out. And a foul on the Jaspers on the rebound. It's on Walden. That's the first foul of the game on either team. Very clean opening to this one.
I thought Adam gave you really good minutes on Friday. Big body, he comes in. Again, I like him going to the glass. Not a lot of contact. Again, when you have legit bigs, Jason, I can't say this enough, let them play. Maybe when the 6'4", 6'5" guys down there, you call that. Let those big fellas play. That's why they're here.
Only call the fouls when there's a mouse in the house.
Those aren't mice.
Powell lobs to Ogimuno Johnson. The double team comes immediately in the matchup zone. 9 on the shot clock. Long three from Murray is short. There's Ogimuno Johnson for the offensive board. Powell spots up again. This time he hits.
And we just talked about that off the air. Alan Powell may not be shooting percentage-wise as well as he has in the past, but you know there's a possibility he's going to knock one down because of the offensive rebounding.
Jewell has a bit of a lane. Has to pass out. Hyen runs over a defender. That's an offensive foul on Razi Hyen. The defense continues to make things happen for the Rider Broncs. 11:33 to play in the opening half. It's Sunday afternoon MAC basketball. Come back with us for more on ESPN3.
Really well because of this guy right here, Dwight Murray Jr.
Last year, these two teams played on this floor, went to overtime. The Jaspers were able to beat the Broncs. A lot of overtime games in the MAC this season. Jaspers' last two have gone to extra basketball, and they've won both.
The margin of error in this league is so small. No team is that much better than any other team.
Ogimuno Johnson threw a couple of defenders. The kick out to Powell. How about a block shot on the perimeter by Padgett? Padgett looking to attack. Teardrop would not go. And Ogimuno Johnson had good position, but then the Broncs give it away. Nelson thought about the three. He's guarded on a mismatch by Ogimuno Johnson. Puts it on the deck with a strong left hand. Now needs some help. Samir Stewart. Back outside. Nelson lines it up. That's off to the left.
And Jason, that's a win for Ogimuno Johnson. Big time defense for the big guy, moving his feet. Again, that's a battle, and Nelson usually wins.
What a dish by Murray, and almost a finish and one. But Ogimuno Johnson will go to the foul line.
And you love that he's rewarded on the other end. Covered a lot of ground near Logan on the block shot. He comes from almost in the lane area to get out and block that. We talk about length on both teams. You love it when you can get out and block a shot on the perimeter.
Ogimuno Johnson, a graduate student from Nigeria, 6'8". Again, we've talked about seems like he's been at Rider forever, but he's playing really excellently last two games. 12.5 points on 8 of 11 shooting. He's also 9 out of 10, now 10 of 11 in those last three from the free throw line.
He's one of those guys who understands and plays his role so well. When he comes out there, you know he's going to rebound the ball, and we just saw defend. I thought he did a masterful job keeping Ant Nelson in front of him.
It's a 7-0 Rider run. Broncs go deeper into their bench, bring in Zarian Blue and Corey McKeithen. Hyen a long three. That is short. Daniel Schreier in off the Jasper bench couldn't secure the rebound. McKeithen in transition. He's also played well lately. Spotting up Murray. The switch from three. Now it's a 10-0 Rider run. And Rashawn Storrs wants to talk about it.
And the beauty of having McKeithen come in the ball game, he pushes the action, takes Dwight off the ball.
A couple of years ago, he led the MAC in three-point percentage, shot 44% from there.
And the word you used I love is capable. When you see that, you understand these guys can shoot the ball. Percentages may say, you may be missing it here or there, but you don't want to give Murray or Powell open looks, so you have to go out to them. So I don't believe that one bit when you talk about numbers that they're not going to shoot the ball well. You have to go at them regardless of the numbers because you know what they've done, and they still can do it.
Bad pass by Watson into the feet of Stewart. And a held ball. It'll stay with the Jaspers. They've got Brennan and Nelson with Stewart in the backcourt, along with Watson and Schreier, the big man up front. Rider, again, they've gone to their bench. Blue with McKeithen, Murray, Ogimuno Johnson, and Mervyn James.
And this is the start Coach Baggett wanted from his team. He did not want them to go down early. I'm impressed with their intensity and energy. Again, Sunday afternoons can be tough on the road.
A lot of the games in their win streak, they have not come out well. They've trailed at the half in the first 5 games of the streak. That was broken last time out against St. Peter's. Samir Stewart from way downtown is able to end the Rider run.
And that was a set shot. Samir didn't even jump. That showed you his range.
Stewart shooting 39% from three, averaging a career best 14 points a game this season. Jasper's able to set up in the matchup zone. Into the center it goes for James over Brennan. Can't get it to fall. Big battle for the rebound and a foul on Rider.
Even with the miss, Mervyn James, high percentage shot right in the lane area. Jaspers have to do a better job keeping Rider out of that area because those shots are very makeable.
Admirable job on the other end of defending without fouling. That's Rider's first foul of the game, 11 minutes in. Alan Powell also back in for the Bronx. They're 6 of 18 from the floor so far. Manhattan just 4 of 17. Man-to-man defense for the Bronx. Nelson on the left side of the floor around the Schreier screen. Once again has the big man on him. Brennan spots up with 3 on the shot clock. Can't get it to fall. Blue skying in for the rebound.
Good minutes by Blue coming in, going strong to the glass.
Blue, one of the newcomers into Rider's program, a transfer from Division II Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. Ogimuno Johnson had to go right through his hands, able to corral it in a sea of white jerseys, and a held ball called. Rider will keep it, but good hustle by the Jaspers.
Didn't catch that clean in the lane, had a great opportunity. Throws off the timing, causes the jump ball.
Josh Roberts has 4 of Manhattan's 9 points. He checks back in.
Rider brings in more size. Bladen, another guy, a rim runner, rebounder, brings good intensity.
Bladen's actually the tallest player on the roster for Rider at 6'10". McKeithen from the elbow, rattles it in.
And again, I like him coming off your bench. You talk about a guy like Samir Stewart who comes in with instant offense. McKeithen, I like his pushing the basketball. He looks to score. Good bounce to his game also.
Nelson points Stewart to the center of the floor, and now he's got the mismatch. Stewart driving, kicking out. Watson, the open 3. Just too strong, and batted out of bounds off of Schreier, I believe.
Good look off the dribble drive action. Stewart doing a really good job on that baseline, finding Marquise Watson. That's a shot Marquise can knock down. You get on that baseline, you're looking, good search. Keith's locked and loaded. You want to see him make that 3 ball. Good hustle also for the offensive rebound.
Matt Glassman checks in, the graduate student out of Bedford, New Hampshire.
When Glassman comes in, you know he's giving you energy on that defensive end. Good communication, ball pressure.
Murray in the corner. Looking for James. Now gets it to him. Extra feed to Bladen, and he's held from behind. Padgett will pick up that foul.
Rider doing an excellent job getting the ball in the post area.
Bronx are doubling up the Smooth Williams.
Young Smoothie wearing the 1-5. I used to get loose at Cardinal Dockley. I love the picture. You guys surprised me on that one.
That's your head coach next to you, right?
Yes, indeed. Mark Heimerdinger used to let me do my thing.
I was curious, Smooth, as to why you wore 15, because you're always on the 20 that you wore here at Manhattan as Mervyn James goes straight to the basket and scores.
Strong take by Merv, but really quickly, in high school, I played varsity early, was the only number that was available at the time, so I had to go with it, so I had to make it happen.
And he just added 5 once he got to the college ranks.
You got it. 2-0, second to none.
Rider's got the 2-0 on the board now after the James bucket. Brennan has it stripped by Zarian Blue. Good job there. Murray dribbles right into the 3, and Rider's still rolling.
And Jason, that's beautiful basketball. It all starts with the defense coming up with the turnover in transition. Always under control. Murray Jr. pulls up for the 3 ball. But you like Ant Nelson using that size, getting into the lane. That's what the Jaspers need to do to come back. Take advantage of transition opportunities. Good defensive teams are so difficult to score against in the half court. Get out and run.
That's Ant Nelson's first points of the game. Averages about 15 per contest. James can hit that shot. That one is off the front iron, though.
And the Jasper guards are going to have to rebound.
Roberts running the floor again, is able to finish. He does that more than anyone else in the MAC, just catching and being able to put it in.
And how about the pass? Ant Nelson with the sneak. Grand Theft A3.
Off to Watson, and he lays it in.
Defense triggers offense, easy buckets. Let's go back to Keith with the beautiful pass. We know Josh is going to run the floor, feed him, and Nelson sneaky in that corner. Alvarado does it well for the Pelicans, and Nelson picking it up here at Manhattan College.
Jaspers look to get the stop off of the back-to-back buckets. Mervyn James once again spinning on Padgett, tries to dish, got his own loose ball. Shot clock winding down, that's Murray time.
Again, they live in that lane area. Every shot is a high percentage shot in this first half for Rider. You were familiar with the Alvarado reference. Jose Alvarado, the Pelicans like to sneak in that corner, come up with the steal. A3 grand theft here at Manhattan College.
Oh yes, Jose Alvarado, one of the more entertaining players to watch at the next level in the NBA. Watson, a clear lane to the basket, but dishes to Roberts in a thunderous jam.
Excellent cut, beautiful extra pass. Reward the big fella. When he dunks it, he rebounds better for you and blocks more shots.
That's an excellent pass by Watson. He saw the defender coming to block his own shot.
Marquise is that third ball handler. Oftentimes, if Ant Nelson can't beat his guy, Samir can't beat his guy, Keese is the guy who can get to the cup.
Ryan Blue, guarded closely by Brennan. Jaspers in a man-to-man right now. Here's Murray going at Nelson, going at the shot blocker. That's rejected.
Hey!
Here come the Jaspers again. Padgett steps into it. It's off to the left.
Not sure if Josh Roberts, did he block that shot with two hands?
He might have. He can really get up there. You can see the high major athleticism. He came in as a transfer a couple of years ago from St. John's.
One of the best second jumps in the country. He goes up, goes back down, gets back up quicker than anybody else.
Blue lets it fly. And the long rebound, weak side by Watson. Jaspers have trailed by as many as 14 points in this contest. It is an 8-2 run for Manhattan. Nelson gets inside, draws contact,
Jason,
and earns free throws.
I love that. I'm sorry. I love Ant Nelson in the lane. We had this conversation early in the league, guard-to-guard conversation. Ant getting to the cup, earning himself rugged free throws.
Great start for Rider, but Manhattan's back in it.
I like Josh Roberts plays to the argument, and you look at the bigs for Rider, they play to the argument. And the conversation was with my guy, Coach Baggett. Come on, Coach. You know you need big and solid guys at this level, but I love him.
And he's got a whole bunch of big and solid guys inside. That's why we highlighted Josh Roberts in the open. He leads the Jaspers right now with 8 points. Ant Nelson at the line. He's 66% from there this year, but 74% his last 6 games. 1 out of 2 there. Betran back in. Grabs the rebound. The run is now 9-2 for Manhattan as they look to close the gap before the half. Watson, Stewart, Nelson, Brennan, and Roberts. 4 guards around the big man inside in the matchup zone. Mervyn James at the high post. That jumper is pure.
That's a good move. I love the footwork, the square up. Again, a guy with his size and athleticism is a difficult matchup in our league.
Jaspers look to answer Stewart. There's the lob. Roberts maybe wasn't expecting it, left it short.
Yes, you're right about that. He delayed. He's usually right at the rim for that pass.
They go back inside to James. He leads the Bronx with 8 points. Can't score there, but tips his own miss volleyball style back in the hoop.
And Jason, right now, that's the money matchup. Go to Mervyn James, 6'7". There's no one who's strong enough to match up with him inside right now. And if you put a big on him, which the Jaspers don't have, he can go by them off the bounce.
James in his second season with Rider, coming in as a transfer from North Alabama. Stewart looks for space. That's a real tough shot around Murray. Rider's defense being able to stabilize things here. Back to an 11-point game. Ogimuno Johnson up to James. James goes at Brennan. That ball stripped out of bounds, and it was James who actually lost it himself.
Definitely clear. They're going to try to work out Mervyn James. Very similar to an NBA-style offense. Go to the hot hand, the mismatch, and it looks like it's Mervyn James.
6th Rider turnover here in the opening half. Bronx shooting 43%. They're 3 of 9 from 3. Stewart, great pass to Brennan. Great cut as well, but everything but the finish.
Excellent screen and roll action. Help side defense by AB.
Numbers the other way. Murray looks to go quickly, finds Ogimunu Johnson banging bodies with Walden. Score that basket and the foul as he got the step around the big man.
And that's one of the reasons he's been around so long. Veteran on rookie. The vet takes him to school. Love the spin on the baseline. Goes to the baseline. Watch this. Semi-hook on the elbow. Give me a little space. Strong through contact. I'm looking for an and one.
That's such a quick spin. He didn't even need a drop step to get to the hoop.
Big-time basket there. A guy who's been around and understands what he can do. Looking at mismatch, that time went straight to the big fella.
Completes a three-point play.
Early on, super impressed with Rider on the defensive end and their ability to get the ball in the lane area.
They've tied their largest lead of the first half. Inside 2 minutes to play until the break. Stewart lets it fly, and nothing but net. Samir Stewart can hit a shot over anyone.
That's a pretty-looking shot. Coming off the screen, not a lot of space, raises up, locked and loaded, ready to shoot the basketball.
Stewart 2 of 3 from beyond the arc today. The rest of his teammates are 0 for 9 combined. Powell thought about that three-point shot. Murray picked up by Brennan. Once again, James has trouble catching it, but it pops right back out to Murray. 6 on the shot clock. James launches off to the right, and Hyen with the rebound.
That's a win for the Jaspers defense. Again, like I told you, if you put a big on James, he can take him off the bounce. He settled for the three.
Quick crossover by Watson, the rim unkind, and Ogimunu Johnson with another rebound.
Keep an eye on the activity with Mervyn James and Adam Walden. I see a couple of elbows. I talked about James having that dog in him.
Liable to get much more physical in the second half, as most MAC games do. A drive and dish. Once again, Ogimunu Johnson, and once again, score it and the foul.
Dwight Murray Jr. right now is picking the Jaspers defense apart, finding the open areas. Beautiful drop-off pass. Clean catch. Earlier, he didn't have a clean catch. Able to finish through contact.
A cut like that by Ogimunu Johnson only comes from being as experienced as he is, one of the top players all time in Rider history in games played.
And having a good feel off of Dwight. Dwight comes into the lane. Defense has to step up. He knows he has to be ready, hands ready to catch it, and power through contact.
Ogimunu Johnson now with 8 points. Joining Mervyn James with 10. They're the 2 leading scorers for Rider, taking advantage of their size advantage inside.
Now, if you're Manhattan, you want to get some good ball movement. The 3 ball starting to go down. Be ready to shoot the basketball.
Nelson and Stewart on the floor together. Brennan looks for Walden. They'll flip to Nelson. 6 on the clock. Into the corner. Brennan's open. And off the mark. Walden with a good rebound, though. Shot clock now off. Jaspers can hold for the final shot if they wish, and Nelson just saw it. Tariq Ingram switches on to Nelson. That's a big mismatch. Nelson drives around him and kicks to Brennan. Tries it again from 3. The lid on the basket was omnipresent for the Jaspers in the opening 20 minutes as Rider has built themselves a 14-point lead.
Again, like I said, very impressed with Rider being able to get the ball in the paint. Defensively, very solid. On the road Sunday afternoon. They do a great job defending the 3, but in that first half, they were on point.
Jaspers in white, Rider in the traveling cranberry uniforms. That is the official name for that dark red shade that they wear.
I thought that was maroon.
I just mentioned it's cranberry because I just like that it's named after a fruit. Watson off the mark, but he was able to draw a foul there. As we are back underway at Draddy Gymnasium, second game of the weekend for both teams. Rider looking to win their 7th straight, which would be their second longest win streak under Kevin Baggett in his 11 seasons at the helm at the head coaching position. And for Manhattan, looking for a 3rd consecutive win. The first 2 in this streak came in overtime. That includes a couple of comebacks as well. Marquise Watson at the line, a 65% free throw shooter.
A little discrepancy on who was the free throw shooter. Was the foul with Marquise going to the basket or Josh Roberts going to the glass? Marquise misses that first free throw. However, you like Keese playing downhill, getting to the cup.
Second shot by Watson is perfect. That gives him 3 points. Free throw shooting has not really meant a ton in this game. Neither side got to the free throw line often. We'll see how things shake out in what should be a pretty physical second half of play. Betran with James, Powell, Murray, and Ingram, the starting five out there for the Bronx. Man-to-man defense for the Jaspers: Watson, Nelson, Roberts, Padgett, and Brennan. Powell got to the cup, and the shot off the glass over Roberts goes down.
And again, that's something you don't see Powell do as often because his jump shot isn't going down, like the adjustment strong to the cup off the wrong leg.
The Riders got their largest lead. They led by as many as 14 in the first half on a couple of different occasions. Nelson all the way inside. The crafty righty shot is off the glass, and James with a good rebound. Break back the other way for Rider. Betran hands to James, slithers for two.
Big time transition basketball. It all starts with the quick push from Dwight Murray. Defense not really set up. Extra pass, layup.
Mervyn James up to 12 points and 7 rebounds. He's always played well against Manhattan.
Tough matchup.
Nelson rises for three, short on line. And Ingram with the box out. Once again in transition, James, a great catch and a finish.
Woo!
Mervyn James is in the house.
I know the Super Bowl is next week, but that reminded him of Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown. Beautiful pass, nice catch in traffic, and finish. Like the Eagles reference, Jaspers trailing right now, 22-41. Swerving Merv is a tough matchup. Talked about him in the first half. Young man at 6'7", can put it on the floor, has that dog, runs the floor, great catch in traffic, finishing with the left.
Jaspers trailing by 19 points. Still 19 minutes remaining, though. And anything can happen in this league, especially this year. Brennan, catch and shoot three, rattles it in. That's big for Manhattan.
Excellent set play coming out the timeout to get a good look. Nick Brennan steps up, locked and loaded, ready to shoot it. Jaspers need much more of that here in the second half.
Brennan's a 40% three-point shooter this year, averaging 9 points, almost 10 per game, tripling his average from last year.
Again, when you talk to Coach, he talked about just him having the confidence, and I added trusting your work. I've seen this young man be in the gym hours after hours. He and Samir Stores putting up shots so you know they can make them.
Murray driving inside against the zone. That's a tough bank shot. Swatted off the floor by Ingram. Stewart trying to lead a break. Stumbles a bit. And Rider gets back defensively.
Wasn't able to get that ball clean out of there on the rebound. Looks like it was going to be a transition opportunity. However, Rider gets back very quickly.
Josh Roberts. Over to Watson. Drives into James. Cannot finish. James stayed straight up and down, but it will stay with Manhattan.
That length once again, 6'7". He goes straight up. Marquise tries to pump. You would love to see Marquise just play through the contact, put the pressure on the official.
Watson to trigger it in, gets it into the corner for Roberts. They look for Stewart off the screen. Rider did a nice job defending that. Padgett left wide open though, and it's too strong. Betran with the rebound, and here's possible numbers for Rider. Return to Murray. And up top to Ingram, the big man. Going to work inside, and he travels.
Looks like he may have dragged that pivot foot. Again, he is such a heavy load once he gets into that paint, putting his body on your body.
One of the Philly guys. He comes from good basketball stock. Both his mother and father played their college ball at Seton Hall.
That's your spot. You love Seton Hall. You're a pirate.
I am. His dad, Roger, played for a couple years for George Blaney in the mid-'90s. Samir Stewart puts his head down and finishes.
Excellent screen and roll action. So important to come off shoulder to shoulder so that defender gets caught. A little bit of space. I love that he goes in there using the left hand.
Just to finish up the point on Ingram, his mom, Tynetta, played 4 years at Seton Hall for Phyllis Mangina, friend of the program.
Nice.
Foul inside on Roberts.
And that's always a good sign when your family's involved in sports, played. They understand a lot of the nuances. Very coachable players in that case.
And Nelson comes in for Watson. Jaspers get some more playmaking on the floor here. It's the return trip for the Bronx. They won the home matchup with Manhattan by only 2 points. It was a game that was back and forth the entire way with 17 lead changes and 14 ties.
Jaspers would love to get it back in that situation right now, trailing.
Powell sees an opening. The scoop shot, the shot blocker lurking, is way too strong. In transition, Roberts runs the floor and flushes it home.
Oh, that's a beautiful dime by Samir Stewart. Had you thinking he was going to throw the ball cross court for a three. Again, Josh Roberts running the floor. You reward him. He dunks it home.
Murray looks to answer, has it stripped away. Jaspers lead the MAC in steals. They come up with one there. Here's Roberts again. This time it's knocked out by Ingram.
Take a look at Samir Stewart's eyes. His eyes tell you, I'm looking to go cross court. No, Josh, I see you, brother. And he dunks it home with 2 on the run. Jaspers trying to make a run for themselves.
Down by 12, 15:30 to play.
6 games with 4+ threes. And again, he comes off the bench, 14.2, 39% from 3, basically 40%. This young man is balling out in his closeout year.
And when you hustle like that, you get on SportsCenter. Stewart is off the mark on that triple try off the inbounds pass. Manhattan on a 7-0 run here. By the way, for Stewart, if he had enough games played this season, he'd be in the top 10 in the MAC in scoring and three-point shooting.
But I believe everyone around the MAC is well aware who he is, and he's accounted for on the scouting report.
And a turnover for Ryder, an errant pass toward the post. For the Bronx, that is their 9th turnover of the contest. It's been a game of runs. 10-0 run in the first for Ryder. Manhattan answered with an 8-2 spurt. And then out of the halftime break, 6-1 Ryder, followed by 7-0 Manhattan, which is still active. Make it 10-0. Samir Stewart on cue.
Well, again, when we spoke to Coach Karn from Siena, I love the reference he's used. He says Samir Stewart is like Vinnie Johnson. Again, that's an old school reference. I'm not sure you're a young buck, but coming off the bench for the Detroit Pistons, this guy was instant offense, nickname Microwave.
I am aware of Mr. Johnson and his microwave ability. Stewart looking to heat up quickly. Ryder looking to end this run. They go to Mervyn James, leading scorer today, and he's good with the shot clock winding down and a hand in his face.
And that's the matchup to do it. Again, Merv is tough in that mid-range there. I think that's an area he can work very well.
Bronx have Ogimuno Johnson back in off the bench as well. Nick Brennan off the handoff. He swishes another, and the Jaspers are heating up from 3.
We talked about at halftime, Jason, the equalizer being the 3 ball. The Jaspers starting to put it down.
Lead for Ryder down to 8. Mervyn James into a defender. Blocking foul is called on Padgett.
Again, take a look at the Jaspers. Starting to get some really good looks. Nick Brennan, legs underneath him. Again, shot ready, hands and feet, knocks down the 3 ball. These guys put their work in. Trust your work.
Stewart now with 11, Brennan with 8, Roberts with 10, the 3 leading scorers for the Jaspers. Ogimuno Johnson had it knocked away by Padgett, but he recovers. Mismatch with Brennan in the post, goes to his left hand, leaves it short, but gets his own miss.
Too tough inside again. Exploiting matchups. Ogimuno Johnson understanding he has a smaller player on him. Nick Brennan, basically a guard, takes him right to the Baja.
That gives him 10 points, his 3rd straight game in double figures. Stewart guarded by Murray. They switch Powell now onto Stewart. And Nelson thought about it. Now he'll take it from the corner, and he hits it from 3.
Again, Ant Nelson had been getting into the lane so much, you're starting to tend to forget he can knock down the 3 ball also.
Jaspers went just 2 of 14 from 3 in the first half. They are now 4 for 7 in the second half. Ogimuno Johnson, this time guarded by the big man Roberts. Inside, once again, it's James, this time with the mismatch, and what do we have? It's a foul on the floor. It's on Brennan.
Talking about the 3 ball, getting Ant Nelson in that corner, a little hesitation, shoots the 3. You know I love how the lefty goes down, getting back in transition. Ryder looking for the mismatch. Again, it's Mervyn James with the Jaspers. They're adding a wrinkle, sending a double team.
Powell, hounded by Stewart, forces him all the way back near half court. A little bit of a push off there, no call. Crowd loves it. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Powell going at Stewart. Tough shot in the lane is good. What a shot by Powell.
Talk about Philly tough. Again, solid defense by Samir. Powell said, listen, get out the way. Give me the clear out. Go strong to the lane. That's what we breed in my city.
Philly toughness, my goodness. Stewart has open shot to take if he wanted to shoot it, but he was looking for Roberts, and Ryder had the hand in the passing lane. Powell steps into a 3, a bit of a heat check, and it's off the shot clock. So back over to the other side we go.
And that's more of a I'm here, don't try to rattle me shot by AP Allen Powell. You have to be a baller to really understand that exchange there, Jason. Again, if you're going to get at me, I'm coming right back at you. I guess you don't understand.
Well, Powell attempted to give him 5 points instead of 2.
You got it.
I understand. I just never experienced it myself.
You did tell me your career high was 6. Not bad for you.
Yeah, but that was in middle school.
Got.
Here's Murray with a steal out high. Driving on Nelson. The reverse would not fall.
Nelson doing a good job not getting the contact.
Nelson, an acrobatic coast-to-coast finish with his strong left hand.
And that's classic New York City flair. Call that jelly. Ant Nelson to the cup.
New York versus Philly. It feels like the NFC playoffs.
And you know what happened there. Come on, that's not fair. That's not giving the Jaspers a fair shot.
Yeah, the Eagles are playing in the big game next weekend.
Jaspers only down 7.
Mervyn James again. Shot blocker Roberts is there. May have altered that one. Ogie Johnson's having a big game off the bench.
Huge rebound there.
Betran shoves over Padgett. An easy call on the offensive foul.
Great job by Logan moving his feet. Jaspers on a run. Second half, knocking down the long ball. Only down 47-40.
He is up to 8 points now, but he's also first in the Mac in steals, second in assists. He's having a great season.
And is playing some tremendous basketball. Ultimate compliment was given to him by Coach Baggett, saying this guy, his upside is ahead of him. He looks forward to seeing him playing much better basketball, and that's coming from an opposing coach.
Nick Brennan had hit a couple of threes there, missed that one, but Roberts hooks the pass back in bounds, and Brennan makes the Bronx pay, and it's down to 4.
Nick Brennan needs to give one of his points to Josh Roberts. Excellent effort getting that offensive rebound. Gets it back out to Nick. Best time to shoot the 3 in transition, inside out, or a scramble situation.
The Jaspers were down 19 points 8 minutes ago. James into Brennan. Tough drive. Shot is blocked. James got it again. Still could not get it to finish. And Ogie Johnson calmly is able to collect and finish that one.
Talk about rebounding. This Ryder Club goes to the rim hard. Again, Mervyn James, he's a dog. He plays through the contact, no complaints. Ogie Johnson comes in, gets the rebound, puts it right back in. And again, that's the strength of this Ryder basketball team. Their margin of rebound above everybody else in the league.
Almost +5 on the glass per game in MAC conference tilts. And Nelson around a couple of screens. This time the pass inside to Padgett. Beautiful floater there for Logan Padgett.
The reason that play works so well, Jason, because Nick Brennan knocking down the 3. 2 defender goes with him. You slip that screen. Easy basket for Logan.
Corey McKeithen's in off the Ryder bench with Blue and Powell in the backcourt. Murray on the bench right now, but just as I say that, he gets up at the scorer's table and he'll check back in shortly. James floats one up of his own. That's no good. Roberts had the rebound and lost it. McKeithen rises and hits.
McKeithen, I told you, he comes off the bench, gives you really good energy. Love his bounce. Able to use his body to get that to the basket.
Not too many times do you see Roberts, the Mac's leading rebounder, not come up with rebounds like that. Nelson looking to answer. That's halfway down and out. And Ogie Johnson once again with the board. He's got a double-double off the bench, 12 and 11. Powell Off the mark, off to the right. There's another offensive board. Score that for Zorion Blue and the foul.
Rider's best offense, put it on the glass. We'll go get it. If we don't get it, we'll go get it again. Transition opportunity again. Everybody's a little scattered. You get the rebound, goes right back in. Blue, another guy. We talk about that bench from Rider. Comes in, gives you good minutes.
Zorion Blue, the graduate transfer from Princeton, New Jersey. It's his first year at the Division I level. He was the Conference Player of the Year in the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association, the CIAA, at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania.
As quiet as kept, Lincoln gets Philly love also. A lot of Philly players go to Lincoln.
The other way, a 3-ball by Hyen is an air ball.
That's a shot Rozzy definitely can make in transition.
Quick 4-0 spurt for Rider to try and stabilize things. Murray's back in. As the Jaspers show the matchup zone, Ogimuno Johnson, quick ball movement. Nehemiah Benson finishes.
Rider going right back to the paint touches. First half, super impressed with them getting the ball down low. They had gotten away from it a little bit, going right back to it.
Nelson and the Jaspers now looking to end a 6-0 run. 8 minutes to play. The lob inside. Roberts the finish. That's easy.
Screen and roll action. That's something Coach Baggett wasn't happy with in the first matchup. The Jaspers do such a good job working it.
Benson has it stripped away from behind. It's loose on the deck. Everybody diving on it. And it's a held ball, which will keep it with Rider.
You think these guys want this basketball game? That looks like a fumble in the NFL.
It's always intense when it comes to February conference action. The Jaspers find themselves down by 8 now with 7:44 to go. We've got a lot more coming your way on ESPN3. Don't go anywhere.
7, 6, 8 in the defensive area. Defensive Player of the Year 2 times in a row. This guy could block shots, menacing inside.
Rider with the basketball. Jaspers had cut the 19-point lead all the way down to 4. Rider trying to extend it back out. It's been a game of runs, as basketball often is.
Let's see if Rider can get a paint touch.
Murray leans in, shot clock at 1. He had to throw it up there, and Roberts with an easy rebound.
Really good defense. That time that was a shot you can tell Murray did not really want to take.
Jaspers have Samir Stewart back on the floor. He's hit quite a few deep shots in this game with 11 points off the Jasper bench. Stewart thought about it. Ogimuno Johnson, though, might have swatted that one. Padgett gets a look from the corner. Off the glass, no. Roberts fighting hard for the rebound, draws a foul.
Can you like Josh going to the straight front of the rim? Again, in that case there, you had a guard trying to box him out, and that's a no-go. Again, the guard's too small. He's up underneath the basket. There's no foul there. Again, you can't box out somebody underneath the basket, and again, the size differential. You got to let the big fellas play, Jason. You got to let them play.
McKeithen heads to the bench. Powell back in for the Bronx. Off the inbounds, Hyen lets it fly, but another air ball there from the left side of the floor.
And right now, he's not in a good rhythm.
Powell takes a look at the crowd and sets up the offense.
Because anyone who understands and knows the Jaspers, he's a good shooter. You want to make sure he stays confident.
Ogimuno Johnson skying to the basket. What a great game he's had now, 14 and 10.
He's coming with tremendous energy, athleticism, and assertiveness.
It's back to 10 with 6.5 to play. Do the Jaspers have a big run left in them after a big weekend here on their home court? Nelson to his right hand, back to his left against the big man, and a foul.
I like Ann Nelson going off the bounce. Again, in that situation, you have 2 bigs. Either way, he should be able to work. Again, Ogimuno Johnson, he comes in, good energy, straight to the basket, did not hesitate. He understands he has good bounce going right at Josh Roberts. And we talk about this Rider team. You have bigs coming off the bench ready to play. So on a night when possibly maybe Mervyn James doesn't have it going on, Dwight Murray Jr. doesn't have it going on, say, listen, well, let's get the paint, get the ball inside. We have guys who want to score, and they're aggressive.
Nelson hit the first free throw. One more will give him double figures. Fifth-year guy from New York City. And he's 1 out of 2 just like the first trip to the line today. That makes it a 9-point lead for the Rider Broncs, looking for a 7th consecutive win. Manhattan going for a 3rd straight.
And when we talked to Coach Storrs, he specifically said we have to do a better job at the free throw line.
Only 6 attempts for Manhattan there today, but only 3 makes, 50%. Ogimuno Johnson, one-on-one with Roberts. Nice backdoor cut by Blue. Good hands there on the baseline by Stewart to strip it out of bounds. Only 3 on the shot clock.
And Jason, you talked about Ogimuno Johnson being here forever. When he first came to Rider, that's not something he was able to do. Put it on the floor, one-handed bounce pass.
Tried to get it to him on the block there. Powell rising for 3. Off the mark and over the backboard. It clipped the shot clock.
And the guy was in position to get another offensive rebound.
See the numbers for Ogimuno Johnson. He's also barely missed any shots the last 3 games. 3 straight in double figures.
I think this is a big possession for the Jaspers. I'd like to see if they can get a paint touch to lead to possibly a 3.
Here comes Watson. There's their paint touch. Good hands from behind by Mervyn James, though. Brennan and Watson back out on the floor for the Jaspers. Nelson, Stewart, and Roberts, the other 3. Murray always so dangerous with the ball in his hands. Guarded by Nelson. Now the Jaspers look to match up in a zone. High post. Mervyn James in and out.
Again, they got the ball down low. Good pass for Alan Powell.
This Jasper team can heat up offensively in a very quick fashion. Stewart wanted the 3 there. Now he steps back, lost his defender, and cans it. My goodness.
Can I have this dance? Samir Stewart between his legs 2 times in a row to create some space and nails the 3 ball.
7th time this year he's hit 4 or more threes in a game. Bronx keep the ball moving, and James gets a 2-handed dunk.
I like the way Rider comes right back at you, not fazed by the 3 at all. Blue with a good pass. Mervyn James dunks it home with 2.
18 points for James. That leads all scorers. Riders lead once again is 8. Nelson dancing on the perimeter. Inside, the fadeaway is well off the mark. And Blue with the board.
Solid defense there by Dwight, pushing out Ant Nelson a little bit.
Alan Powell gives it up to James. Now back to Murray. 7 on the shot clock. Murray gets to the elbow and has that shot blocked by Nelson. Nelson in transition challenges Ogimuno Johnson, and he'll earn himself free throws when we come back. It's going back and forth. Manhattan perfectly willing to stay. Very young but very good Saints outfit.
And the one thing you can say about this Lady Jasper team, Jason, we both noticed so well, they defend and rebound.
Kind of like how Rider plays on the men's side is the identity of the Jasper women. As Nelson hits the first, that gives him 10. The 18th time this season in 21 games, 22 actually, that he's been in double figures. Most of his offense has come in the second half as well, as he goes 2 out of 2.
Plenty of time remaining here.
2 possession game and full court pressure. Alan Betran's back in. Betran having some trouble with the dribble, gives it up to Powell. He's got to go. Speeds it across the timeline with 1 to spare. They want to get it to Murray. Watson's all over him right now. Now James. Up to Betran. 7 on the shot clock. Ogimuno Johnson. Powell, 3 to shoot. Powell has to launch it. At the buzzer, off the mark. James, a big offensive rebound and a putback.
Once again, the tough matchup is Mervyn James. You do a really good job on the defensive end, and he comes up with the offensive rebound.
We're going to have a review, perhaps. Brian O'Connell going over to Coach Rashawn Storrs, and I think Coach Storrs is asking, was somebody in the rim here?
Well, the only thing I could see from that where an argument could come from the Jasper bench and Coach Stewart, was that a shot clock violation? Was that shot put up in time before the violation?
They're not going to review that, however. Back to an 8-point Rider lead. Stewart off a screen. McKeithen stayed right on him. Now Stewart driving McKeithen all the way to the basket, and the pass out is stolen by James, and then a foul.
Such good defense. McKeithen on the basketball did not give any space to Samir Stewart. Samir saying he's looking for someone in that corner. It's certain areas you expect people to be in when you go on that baseline. Corner, and foul line extended for the pass.
Critical turnover there. Foul situation. No one's really in any sort of foul trouble, and both teams have a couple fouls to give. For the Jaspers, that is only their 8th turnover of this game. Both teams have taken care of the basketball. Ogimuno Johnson looking to carve out space, hands to Powell. He sees an opening, and his pass is off of Stewart out of bounds. Kind of unfortunate there for the Jaspers. 8 on the shot clock.
And this is where the Jaspers have to sit down and guard and finish out the defensive possession. You know how you finish out a defensive possession, Jason? Rebound the ball.
Murray on the inbounds. Gets it back. 4-3. He's got it. Big shot for Murray.
And he's another one of those guys who takes and makes big shots. Dwight Murray Jr.
That's his first points of the second half. And now it is a double-digit lead for Rider. Nelson crossing over to Roberts inside. Easy two.
Tremendous read again by Ant Nelson. Screen and roll action, which they do well. Rider's been doing a good job containing it.
Jasper's got to turn up the pressure now inside 2 minutes to play. And still down 9. Jasper's needing a stop. And also a rebound. They're minus 15 on the glass today. Rider, one of the best rebounding teams in the MAC, as we've said. A double team Murray, and he is fouled, pushed by Stewart as he passed it almost to Chris Smooth-Williams.
Good sportsmanship here. You love seeing Stewart and Murray Jr. Again, he picks him up in that exchange. These guys respect one another. A little bit too aggressive there by Samir. Dwight sells it well, and it's right at half court so everyone sees it. You got to make the call.
That is the last Jasper foul to give. There's so no free throws here, but it does put 20 back on the timer.
And this is where, if you're a Rider fan, you feel comfortable with the ball being in the hands of Dwight.
There's a loose ball and a pickup by Brennan. Drives into James, cannot finish. Nelson's putback wouldn't go, but he was hit. Keithen picked up the foul.
Excellent hustle there by Nick Brennan. Dwight gives it up to Powell. He turns it over in transition. And this is one thing I have an issue with young players. If you have bounce, don't double clutch. Take it to the basket and try to dunk it.
Nelson back at the free throw line. 1:10 to play here at Draddy Gymnasium. Critical shots here with the clock stopped. That's an easy way to get back into this game if Jaspers can continue to score at the free throw line. Second by Nelson, no good. Ogimuno Johnson with a big rebound in traffic. He's in trouble, though. Padgett looking to tie him up. He does, and Manhattan's got the arrow.
Really good tie-up. Held it maybe a little bit too long. You need to put that ball on the floor to get out of there.
Looking to get it back to Murray, but by then Padgett had stuck the arms in. Big possession here for Manhattan. They bounce it to Padgett underneath. Wild reverse. Almost went down, and Mervyn James with the loose ball.
Logan almost put the correct English on it. Unable for it to go down. Foul called on Ant Nelson.
Nelson called for the block, slamming the floor in the backcourt. Brian O'Connell swallowing the whistle there. But that'll be the 7th team foul on the Jaspers. Free throws coming up. Big 1-and-1 for Murray. For Murray, he is an excellent free throw shooter, 78% on a team that shoots at 76% as a club. That is the best in the MAC.
And the Jaspers not happy with a couple of calls to close out this basketball game. But I love what Coach Stores did there. Again, showing his professionalism. Ask the official to come speak with me over here. I'm not trying to show you up. Don't show me up.
Brian O'Connell, one of the most decorated veteran officials, works a lot of games in this area.
And most players don't understand the reason you get technical fouls oftentimes is because you're trying to show an official up. No one wants to be shown up, especially when everybody's on TV nowadays, Jason.
In and out on the second by Murray, so only 1 out of 2 in the 1-and-1. Jaspers need some points in a hurry. Stewart looking for his shot. Lobs to Roberts instead, and it's broken up by Murray, but a foul is called. They might get James. No, they get Murray instead. And that is exactly what Ryder didn't want to do, as now it sends the Jaspers to the line for 1-and-1.
Again, going back to that screen and roll action, which is so difficult to guard. Josh going strong to the cup. He's open. You have a smaller defender. Help side defense doesn't come over in time. Foul call, but again, this is the best way to score the ball when you're trying to come back.
Roberts is not a good free throw shooter. He misses the front end. The other way, numbers for Ryder. Murray wisely pulls it back out. And he draws a foul there on the sideline on Padgett. 36.7 seconds to go. The Bronx trying to salt this one away.
And this is why Dwight Murray Jr., in my opinion, if not the best leader, one of the best leaders in our league. Game closing out, he makes good decisions with the basketball.
Front end by Murray goes down. 13 points for Dwight Murray. We highlighted him in the open. He's the Bronx leading scorer today. That's Mervyn James. He's got 20 and 11 rebounds. Ogimuno Johnson with a double-double, 14 and 11 off the bench as well. And Murray is able to sink 2 free throws. Murray coming up big late. He did not score really for the first 17 minutes of the second half and then hit a big 3. And Nelson trying to draw contact. He does. And more free throws coming. Jaspers obviously having to go quickly. Nelson adept at drawing the contact. So crafty with the ball.
Again, at Nelson going strong to the cup there. Considering there's this possibility that Jaspers may not be able to pull this one out. But you are starting to understand and see what their identity is. They have to defend, they have to gang rebound and shoot the ball. That's what this team will need to do to beat the teams that we see at the top of this league.
Nelson misses the front end. The shot clock is off, and that'll essentially do it. Well, Ryder's played a lot of close games. This was another in their win streak, but it will be extended to 7 in a row. The Bronx come to the Bronx and pick up a big-time road victory. It's now their second longest win streak under head coach Kevin Baggett. 10-3 in the MAC is Ryder now, following a 67-56 win over a very game Manhattan club. Jaspers dropped to 8-14 and 6-7 in the MAC. Trending in an upward direction is Manhattan. But today, Ryder got to an early lead. They never trailed in the game. Jaspers cut a 19-point second-half deficit down to only 4, but Ryder was able to stabilize things again. 20 points and 12 boards from Mervyn James, 14 points, 11 rebounds from Ejiri Ogimuno Johnson, and Murray came on.